Hi and welcome to today's practice. This is another Oracle guided class. So we're just going to start off by coming into a comfortable position and allowing your whole body to relax. Allow your shoulders to melt down and away from your ears. Allow your eyes to close down if that feels right for you. So, when we are feeling ready, also going to select a random page. Okay, soul voice meditation. What can I ask for help in healing? Intention. I am ready to heal. I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. So this is talking about self-esteem, being worthy, feeling worthy enough to receive miracles. And it's talking a lot about reaching out. So often when we think about healing, we place a lot of pressure on ourselves. We are often in the energy of doing. How can I drink more water, move more, think better thoughts? But it's saying, how can we ask for help in healing? Whether that is other people, being more open to receiving from other people, or maybe it's a higher guidance. So reaching out to God, your angels, spirit, universe, energy, whatever resonates with you. If God resonates, then you might do a little prayer at the start of your practice, just asking for this practice to aid you in your healing. Okay, and we are going to go through the cards. We have 5. Not many fell out per se, it was more ones that were sticking out I selected. So I'll start with this one, the white buffalo calf woman, as this popped up yesterday, in yesterday's practice. The prophetess of the sacred way, my heart is a compass, the path of love is true abundance. Freya, the goddess of discernment, I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy yes. Yamoja, the goddess of all that flows. I am an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. Akilanda, we've had this one before as well, the goddess of never not broken. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. Inanna, the queen of heaven and earth. I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. So I don't know about you, but I am getting a lot of looking inwards, sending acceptance to what is within in order to heal. That's kind of the message that I am picking up on, giving birth to what exists within us. So just shining a light on the shadows, allowing what is within to arise. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. So just processing what comes up. Nothing that comes up is wrong or incorrect. I often see whatever arises in yoga or meditation or any meditative practice as almost like couples counseling. The idea of paying attention to what comes up isn't to agree or disagree. It's not to say what's right or wrong. It's just to observe feelings, observe emotion, observe thought, observe what is, observe your truth in the moment. So when we notice thoughts and feelings arrive, we're going to observe them free from attachment, free from judgment, most importantly, just allowing whatever is to be. I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am, the Queen of Heaven and Earth. So by not hiding anything and allowing what arises to arise, full of acceptance, this allows us to create heaven on earth sometimes, when we just feel a little bit more at peace with who we are, beginning to become a little bit more proud of who we are as we're focusing on self-esteem today. So we will be doing a lot of heart opening and heart closing. So we're looking inwards and allowing ourselves to build that confidence, build that openness in the heart space as well. My heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. So whatever comes up, we are going to observe with love. That will bring us more abundance, whether that is in the form of more self-love for ourselves, more compassion, an abundance of gratitude. And I spend my time wisely. So that just means to me that whilst we're on the mat today, as much as we can, we're going to be present, spending this very short time that we get for ourselves in the week very wisely. If we notice the mind has wandered, we bring it back to present. We don't spend time with the thoughts, dissecting them, engaging with them, responding, reacting. It's all about taking that step back into our meditative state and just observing what is. What can I ask for help in healing? So we're going to take a moment on our soul voice meditation. We're going to place our hands on our knees. We're going to draw our spine lovely and tall. The legs are crossed. The back of the neck is long. Think about that energy of confidence. Where can we bring more openness into the body? Where can we stand a little bit more tall? The tongue, the jaw, the forehead are all relaxed. Inhale, squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. Allow yourself to flow with your breath. And as we are just grounding and arriving in the body, arriving on the mat, preparing for our practice, we're just gently whispering in our mind's eye, what can I ask for help in healing today? That could be a physical ask. We might be thinking, where do I hold tension? Where can I release? It might be a little bit more emotional. Where do I hold tension in my emotional body? What am I grasping onto? What can I let go of? The emotional body and the physical body are completely intertwined. Make this movement your own. It might be just shoulder rolls. It might be more of a shrug and a complete relax. Shrug, heavy release. It might be that slow and gentle movement. We might have just a little bit of neck movement. Pay attention if we do. We don't want to overdo it in that area. Well done. When we're ready, we draw the arms all the way up towards the sky. Activate through the fingers. Shoulders are down and away from your ears. Biceps hug in towards your ears. Inhale. And then exhale, reach all the way over to one side. Look up. Exhale, close off your heart space. Look inwards. Inhale, lengthen through the side body as we open. Exhale, close off through the front body. And then inhale, open. You might look up, We want to stay relatively strong here. So we're not releasing into that arm. We're staying very active through the core, grounded through that right hip, reaching through those right fingertips. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. This time we're going through center as we're going to activate the core, activate through the side body, and bring length through every side of the torso. The back and the abs, both sides are long. Inhale deeply. Exhale, rainbow both arms down to open the heart space to one side. The back of the neck is long. The chin is tucked. Other side. Exhale. Inhale to open your heart space. Mind may be wandering. We choose to spend our time on the mat wisely. This is your quality time with yourself. So if you find feelings or thoughts that don't feel so good arise, we just observe them. We're not judging them. We're not getting swept up by them into conversation. We're not rejecting. We're not accepting them as part of who we are. We're just observing them. Inhale back through center. Arms come behind you and we interlace both sets of fingers and open your chest forwards. You might drop your nose here if that feels right for you. Repeat within your mind's eye, I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. On the mat, that's your time to take a step back into the energy of allowing. And it's when we're in this energy that miracles can flow to us. We need that balance of yin and yang to allow that flow. Well done. Last stretch in our seated practice, and we're going to cross one arm over the body and just look over towards the side of the room that arm is. So when we draw the right arm in, we look over to the right. We breathe deeply. When we draw the left arm in, we look over to the left. Whatever arises, we make space for, but we don't let it take away from our practice. We remain in this energy of observing, with present momentness. Well done. When we're ready, we're going to come into a tabletop position. Your knees are directly underneath your hips. Your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. We are pressed down into the ground with our shins and our fingertips. We exhale, tuck the tailbone, roll through the spine, press the ground away, drop the forehead, drop the crown. As you inhale, we shine the tailbone up, we flow through the vertebrae, open the chest. Exhale, tuck your tailbone down, roll through the vertebrae one by one. Inhale, open. Allow yourself to flow at the pace of your breath, so your breath is guiding your movement rather than just having to catch up with your movement. One of our cards, Yamoja, spoke about creative energy. So that might mean you get a bit creative within today's practice. Maybe you incorporate a little bit of a circular movement rather than that classic Bhujangasana, cat-cow. It might mean that you incorporate a little bit of forwards and backwards movement, a little bit more flow. Listen to your body. There is no right or wrong as long as it feels okay for you. You could even come all the way forwards and all the way backwards, rounding through the spine to come forwards and arching gently to come back. Exhale, pour the breath out of the body. Inhale, open through the chest. If we are doing this more exaggerated movement, then just make sure you're still thinking sequentially. We are still making that space within the torso, focusing on length and openness. Still allowing your breath to lead and guide the way, marrying the breath and the body's movement. Still allowing the strength of the movement to provide height, so we're still pressing through the shins and through the fingertips. Last one, we are going to come all the way forwards, open the chest, and we are going to bear down here through the shins, through the tops of the feet. We're really active through the legs here, so we're not just relaxing into it, we are engaged. We are pushing the ground very gently with the legs away. We're open through the chest, long through the back of the neck, and we're focusing here on that inner strength, inner power, and that confidence. Breathe in deeply. I am worthy of miracles. I allow creative flow. The path of love is true abundance. Whenever the mind wanders in our Oracle guided practice, you can draw upon these little phrases, any of the ones that resonated specifically with you. Well done. When you're ready, draw up all the way to the ground, tuck your toes and press all the way up to downward dog. Now, if that feels a bit much, drop the shins, drop the knees, whatever you need to make the practice your own, to meet at your own level. We never want to push the body past its point of comfort. Yoga is accessible. That's one of the beauties of it. It just needs a little adaptation sometimes. Again, if you feel comfortable to get a little bit creative, a little bit flowy, we might come up onto the tiptoes and drop the knees, making it nice and strong. If you feel a little bit more restorative or compassionate to your body, rather than focusing on that tough love, you might be leaning more into that self-love. Then we might take it super slow, super gentle. You might be completely still. You might have a little sway side to side. Downwards dog is a resting pose, but often it doesn't really feel that restful depending on where we're at. I know when I'm in downwards dog, my triceps are warm and burning, my back is engaged, the backs of the legs, especially if you've gone for a run or the gym or anything like that, can be super duper tight to the point where it's quite distracting. So whilst it is a restorative pose, it's a chance to catch our breath, it's definitely not easy. When you're ready, we lift the left leg towards the sky and we step forward with that left leg. Drop the back knee, top of the back foot. Inhale, plant your right hand down, bear down into the fingertips and open. Inhale, open your chest by powering down into your right shin, windmill your arms, lift your right hand to the sky and create this length from your right knee to your right fingertips. We are long, we are open. Well done. We're going to lean more into that heart opening by traveling forwards with that left arm and looking up towards the hands if your balance allows it. If your balance is feeling a little bit wobbly here, that is fine. You might just step your left foot a bit wider, or you might come forwards and frame the front foot with your hands. Well done. When you're ready, we're going to do that anyway. We're going to Gently tuck the back foot, hop it up into your Uttanasana. The tops of the thighs and the belly gently rest together. If this feels a little bit too compressed, if your breath feels short, then push and create an openness and a length through the spine instead. If you do feel comfortable here, think about someone lifting your hip creases towards the sky with every breath in, and you melt your heart space forwards and down with every breath out. When you're ready, step that left leg back into your lunge. Open your heart space. Drop that back knee if it feels okay for you to do so. Bear down into that left hand and gently thread that right arm up and open. Think about the length from elbow to elbow. Can we bear down more into the left fingertips to create even more openness? Can we bear down into that left shin, windmilling the arms and coming into a nice low lunge twist? From the left knee all the way up to the left fingertips, we are long. And in our card, I see and accept all that I am. I interpreted that mostly emotionally, internally, thinking about the thoughts, the feelings, but we also apply that to our practice physically. Well done. Bring that front foot. Tuck the toes, and this time slide back into our toe tuck balasana. Fingers reach out in front and we look forwards if you feel comfortable too. Breathing here, focusing on the toe tuck sensation. So when we speak about accepting where the body is at physically, this means we place no pressure on the aesthetic of the pose, on the practice itself. We don't need to be progressing every week. It's not about your flexibility, your range of motion, the way things look. It's all about how it feels. It's all about that inward experience. This also allows us to become more present when we disengage from how the practice looks and just think about how it feels in your body in the present. Well done. When you're feeling ready, we're going to slide the left leg through, slide the right leg back. And if it feels right for you to do so here, we might grab a little bolster. Wrapping the arms around, releasing the front body down. One of our cards said, "My heart is a compass." I love that as a phrase. As whilst we are in a meditative zone, meaning when the mind does wander, when feelings or thoughts do arise, we are not engaging or entertaining them. Equally, your practice will be guided by your internal landscape, where you are at that day. If feelings arise, then we just make this space for them to be there on the mat. We don't push them away, we don't pull them in, they're just existing as part of your present moment. And it's at that point where we're able to process them, to alchemize them, to move through the emotions, to shift energetically. It's at this point where our thoughts become aligned with where we're at energetically. Your thoughts and your energy are completely intertwined, and we can shift our energy by shifting our thoughts consciously off the mat. But when we're on the mat, we're more focused about shifting our energy, and our thoughts will follow. This is more a passive experience, meaning it requires less effort, less doing, more being. When you're ready, we gently swap to our other side. Coming up nice and tall, we slide that leg back. Leaning a little bit more into our yin energy here, so we're not focusing on the fluidity, the flow from pose to pose. It's all about moving slowly, moving mindfully. This pose will probably feel like a bit of a hug, especially if you practice regularly. We are disengaging through all of the muscles if we are able to do so. If we don't practice regularly, if we're new to yin, this might feel a bit more intense, and that is absolutely fine. Often when we are new to yin, we are working through years and years of built up tension in the fascia, in the muscles, in the deep connective yin tissues. So not only is the experience intense in terms of the mind, maybe we're a little bit more yang in our energy, but we're placing the body in this stillness, in this yin state, with nothing but silence. It can feel like something we need to fidget through. The silence can be really intense, really uncomfortable. The poses can be really intense. The more we relax, the more comfortable the entire experience becomes. The more we soften the physical body, we soften our expectations of ourselves, the more we allow, the more enjoyable every single moment becomes. We spend our time on the mat wisely. When you're feeling ready, slowly draw your arms back. And we're going to make our way onto our back. If you do have a block, that would be amazing. If you don't, we could use a book, or we could just lay down for a bit more of a relaxing pose. That's absolutely fine. So we come all the way down onto the back. Grab your block and we slide the block underneath the pelvis. If you feel like this is already a very intense pose, stay here. If it feels too intense, we move out of the pose. And if it's feeling pretty gentle, then you might slide your legs long into your yin bridge. The hips are on top of the block, not the lumbar spine. If you send your legs long and the block shuffles up to the lumbar spine, take a moment to make sure that you reposition. Now you can take your arms back, holding the opposing elbow, maybe even sending your arms long, whatever feels right for you. That allows us to stimulate through the lung and the heart meridians as well. But our main focus here is going to be the lumbar spine, the urinary bladder meridian, and the front of the pelvis, the stomach and spleen meridian specifically, mostly the stomach meridian. These two meridians, the urinary bladder meridian and the stomach meridian, relate to feelings of fear, always living in the future, always worrying, and the stomach meridian, feelings of contentment, satiety, gratitude. So they can feel quite opposing, these two, but they're actually completely interlinked. We allow ourselves to stimulate the area related to feelings of gratitude, which brings us back into the present, out of that future thinking mindset, more into the now, the here, what we have, rather than what we don't have. When we are grateful for all that we have in the present, more miracles are allowed to flow to us. Or able to flow to us. So we might be grateful for having this time to ourselves on the mat. whatever pose your body is in the present. We send gratitude to our body in its wholeness for being in that pose, being able to move. If the mind is wandering, we send gratitude to the mind for doing exactly what we've trained it to do off the mat, which is constantly being active, doing. And then we allow it that permission to slip back into a state of just existing and being. We allow our breath to constantly guide us back to present. We're grateful that we're breathing for each and every breath, for providing us with a tool to be calm. Even if we don't utilize it, it's always there when we need it. The depth of the inhale, the complete and full exhale. These two things will always be there to guide us back to present whenever we need. The moments of stillness at the height and base of each and every breath are an opportunity for that inner stillness to gently spread, an inner calm, a peacefulness, and a stillness. It's normal for your mind to wander. You keep drawing back to the breath, back to the body. And if there is a card that specifically resonated, back to a mantra, if that helps. When you're ready, we slide both legs into a bend one by one. We gently lift the hips off the mat. We draw the arms down and slide the block away. Hug your legs in here for your counter pose. We allow the same disengaging of the muscles, the same heaviness throughout the body. In Yin and all yoga, everything we do is infused with intention. So picking cards at the start can help us continually draw upon intention. It feeds and nourishes the practice, gives us a path. It might be exactly what we need, or it might simply give us a route. It's never a bad time to allow yourself to rest, tap into your creativity, to allow yourself to step into the energy of accepting miracles and allowing yourself to look inwards and send acceptance to what you find. When you're feeling ready, we are going to come into our Savasana. So it's up to you whether your Savasana is legs long, arms down by your side, or you could be seated. It can be whatever you need it to be. I'm going to relax down the eyes, relax down the jaw. The eyelids are completely heavy. Each time your mind wanders is an opportunity to strengthen that habit of simply observing when the mind has wandered, where it's wandered to, and without habitually being drawn in, we observe it and step back into our present. Observing what is, observing the breath, observing the sensations of the body, the heaviness of the hips on the ground, the sensation of the heartbeat in the chest, if you can tap into that. The sensation of blood flow through the arms, the sensation of prana moving through your body. In our yang practice, we cultivate that prana. In our yin practice, we allow that prana to flow more freely. We use stress and compression and stimulation, deep stretch, all in a mindful and purposeful way, with the intention to allow more life force to flow through areas where energy may have been stagnant, built up, old, may have been blocked. It's thought that when there is a lack of harmony in the body's meridian system, that we can begin to feel excess or lack of specific emotions. So today we've looked inwards. We've sent acceptance to exactly what we found. We've given birth to what exists within us, as Emoja's card says. We see and accept all that we are, as Inanna's card says. And everything that did arise happens for our liberation, as Akilanda's card says. Everything that comes up is for our greater good. We can observe and move past. We spent our time on the mat today as present as we could, making the most out of your quality time with yourself. And we asked for help in healing. Hopefully when we asked to help, the practice that we had was exactly what we needed. You might even choose to spend a little bit more time here in silence and stillness, whether you're seated or laying on your own, as your internal voice is one of your greatest guides. You know exactly what you need, what your body needs, what your energy needs, what your soul needs. So just leaning into that, taking your time, listening. I'm going to be quiet for a minute, just to allow you that space to listen. If your mind wanders, gently guide back to breath, back to body, back to quiet listening. Draw upon any mantras that resonate. And if you find it hard to find inner stillness, you can use the well-known mantra, I wonder what my next thought will be. This is powerful as it seems to shift our perspective a little bit more into that observer state. We are not the thoughts, we are the one who watches them. We are not the body, we are the soul who inhabits it. We are not the emotions. They are a guide, they're an insight into alignment, into energy. You are the soul, the consciousness, the non-judgmental observer who watches everything. When you're in this state, you are in the state of true love. The path of love is true abundance. I choose to become only more love. We do this when we're in a state of being rather than doing, falling back into our natural state. I am ready to heal. I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. And with that, we're going to end our practice by guiding our hands into Anjali Mudra. Namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you, and that we are all love. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. Oh, I randomly turned one up at the end. Don't know why. And it said, I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. I feel like that perfectly summarizes everything we just did in our practice. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, or if it's the evening where you are, I hope you have a restful sleep. Thank you so much for joining me.